personnel change when you have a team that's going to be this much of a downhill running attack?
Personnel for us?
Yes.
I don't know about that. We're a multiple defense in our lead personnel. We've always been that way. We probably have to carry a couple personnels to match up with bigger teams that try to run the ball. Yes.
You guys substituted quite a bit in the first 2 games. Do you anticipate substituting at that level, or will starters play a little more?
Just depends on the flow of the game. A lot of intangibles go into it, and the weather and all that. It's a late game, so humidity might be down. But, a guy like Robert can play more than he has, obviously. A guy like that can play a number of snaps in a big game. But, they do some tempo as well, so we got to be able to rotate. With a couple injuries, I think I got 8 guys right now. We're 2 deep at every position that I plan on playing in the game. And then anything after that would just be a feel of the game.
What helped you guys have, I guess, some good success against Derrick Henry last year?
I would say making him run lateral is something you want to do with him. You guys have all seen the highlights and the big plays when he's running downhill and nobody stops him. Once he gets going, he's hard to catch and things like that, and he's strong at the point of attack. You got to wrap up and you got to swarm tackle, get 11 hats on the ball, which I think we've always done and preached, and that's kind of the identity of the Landshark defense.
I asked Dave this a minute ago when he came in here. Gap control, integrity is always important, but is it even more so important against a downhill run team like this?
I think it's more so important against number 17, because he's a guy where, you get greedy and you try to go make a play in someone else's gap, and then all of a sudden he jumps out and he comes through your gap, which, those guys, D linemen, sometimes it's hard for them to understand, to hold on to it for that long. He's the guy that scares you, just like, Barry Sanders or Reggie Bush, those kind of guys that can make guys miss and then all of a sudden come all the way back around when you're not expecting them to. Where Derrick Henry, he going to run downhill, make one cut, and try to go. I think it's more important against a guy like Drake.
Will you talk to your brother this week?
Not for the rest of the week. We spoke on Sunday and got the tickets squared away, and now it's time to prepare.
Go ahead.
What's this week like for your family? What do they kind of experience this whole week?
I would say for most of our family, everybody but Lane and I would just say it's very neutral. It's easy for them just to enjoy the moment and cheer for both teams, and then obviously it's different for he and I.
Is it surprising to you that as much as Nick Saban opposed tempo a couple of years ago, they're now using tempo, and is this more to Lane's liking as the offensive coordinator?
I can't really speak on that. I just think it's, just the evolution of the game in general. And when you can recruit great athletes like that, why would you want them on the bench? When you can recruit all those guys that are electric like that, there's a way to get them on the field. And obviously tempo plays into that kind of personnel.